everybody. Just want to welcome you to this episode of Disciple on the Go, and I want to talk about one of the names of Jesus, and it is friend. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, it says, "The Lord God said, 'It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him.'" And so we see that humans were created by God as relational beings, and we're to have relationships not only with one another, but also God himself. And that's probably one of the greatest conflicts that we have, is these broken relationships that we see evident all around us in our human brokenness between one another, and also this broken relationship between us and God. And we all naturally long for a sense of connectedness, and that lack of connectedness is some of the greatest pain that we experience as humans. And so, as social creatures, friendship is very important. We're created that way. Studies have shown that friendships, or the lack thereof, deeply affect our sense of identity, our self-esteem, our worldview, emotional and physical wellness, and even our personal health. That's right, even our personal health. Research has shown that those who are deeply connected with others actually decrease their physical risk of disease by lowering things like their blood pressure, their heart rate, and cholesterol. Friendships can be a lifesaver, and that's what we see there. And that's awesome that God has not only created us for companionship, but this companionship has been designed to help us thrive in so many ways. Andy Stanley once said that the ultimately friendship will determine the direction and the quality of your life. And so what is friendship, and how would you define that? It's a relationship of mutual affection between people. There's all kinds of different friendships that we know that we've had, and they possess different characteristics. Things such as affection and kindness and love, sympathy, empathy. We want honesty and loyalty, and we want to have friends that there's a mutual understanding and compassion, a mutual trust. And so these are people in your life whose company you enjoy, and we have the ability to be ourselves around them, and we express our feelings to them, and we can make mistakes in their presence without fear of judgment. And so what we see is that friendship is not only designed by God, but it's a gift from God, and they help us thrive. Unfortunately, many of us are not thriving in the friendship department, and we suffer greatly because of it. Recent surveys found that nearly half of American adults suffer from feelings of loneliness and isolation. And only 53% of them say that they have meaningful daily face-to-face social interactions, including conversations with friends and extended family. Of all the generations, Generation Z, which are those born in the mid-90s to the mid-2000s, they are considered the loneliest of all generations, and they have the highest rates of depression and anxiety. So what's behind this loneliness epidemic in America? And here's a few theories. We live in a fast-paced society, and we are busier than ever, and we don't prioritize good old-fashioned face-to-face interaction with one another, because friendship, it takes time to develop, it takes intentionality, and we don't prioritize that. We also use things like social media as a conduit for friendship, and they actually studies have found that social isolation and social media go hand in hand. There's a study that says that heavy users of social media, meaning if it's more than 2 hours a day, that they're more likely to report poor mental health and psychological distress, symptoms of which include anxiety and depression. So you have higher rates of that the more social media that you use, and I think it's kind of ironic. We feel like it's connectedness, but it's really not. People that use social media have a higher sense of social isolation. So what does all this have to do with the names of Jesus? In John chapter 15, verse 15, Jesus says, "I've called you friends." I think it's remarkable that God not only became flesh, but He extends a friendship to us. And I think of all those attributes that we mentioned, Jesus fulfills every single one of them. He is the ultimate friend. And in John chapter 15, verse 13, He says this, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend." And that's exactly what Jesus Christ has done. And so I really think that first, to have healthy relationships in this world, we need to first embrace the friendship of Jesus. He has given Himself that name to be our friend. And it's a mutual relationship. So I believe for us to thrive in our earthly friendships, we need to first thrive in our heavenly friendship with Christ. Because He is our great example. And He is the foundation and the baseline for what healthy friendships look like. And as we thrive in that friendship with Christ, we'll thrive in our friendships with one another. So my challenge for you today is grow in that friendship with Jesus Christ, and also seek out intentionally godly friendships that will spur you on in faith and encourage you and minister to your soul. God's created you for it. God bless you. Have a good day.